Well, when I'm on the dance floor and Northern Soul music's playing, I feel like this is where I lie, this is like your home.
Northern Soul is a family. You'll find us in old pubs and working men's clubs every weekend. It's been like this since the 70s. Anthony's a new face on the scene. He's had a tough start.
He's been in care since he was 6. He deserves the world, like, he deserves to have as much fun as possible.
His care worker Luke's with him all the way.
I'm Anthony Flavin, Northern Soul dancer, keep the faith.
But Luke won't be there forever.
I could get worse.
Now's his chance to say what he wants.
Our soul boy will soon be a man.
It's your birthday bus, got all your mates on.
The whole family's behind him. But will it be enough as he prepares to leave care and go his own way?
Okay, so what we just seen there was a little insight into the documentary. If you haven't seen it yet, then check it out on YouTube or BBC iPlayer. And we're just going to go and get straight into the interview now, so stay tuned and thanks for watching. So, Anthony, welcome to Mods of Your Generation's first ever live interview. Obviously, you brought the nation together with the documentary featured on BBC. Your love of Northern Soul, the passion you have for the whole scene. We witnessed some of the people that you met within the Northern Soul community. So we thought it'd be a great idea to get you on, find out a bit more about you, find out about how you got into Northern Soul, and all that sort of stuff. So hope you're good. Anyway, first sort of question, we'll just crack on into it. So obviously in the documentary, we see your love for Northern Soul. Just tell us a little bit more about how you got introduced into it and who introduced you, or why was it? How did you sort of get into the scene?
Well, I mean, really what happened was I was in a care home, in a children's home, and I met people that two of my workers were original mods in the 60s, so they introduced it to me, but I wasn't allowed to go to the night. So, well, obviously, I was too young to go to the nights at the time, because they're really strict. So what happened was I come over to Nottingham, and that's when I went to a Northern Soul night, and then I just sort of just kept going because I fell in love with
it. The great thing about Northern Soul, I mean, I witnessed that, it's that feeling that you get as soon as you hear the beat of that music. It just hits you, and I think it's hard to explain exactly how it makes you feel. I mean, that's how I got introduced, I suppose, into the mod scene, going to Northern Soul nights. But who was it that? So tell us more about some of the people then that you met, and what their sort of relationship then means to you. And
I mean, the people that I've met are like family to me. So Northern Soul's a family. That's what it is. It's a family, because they're all my friends are like family to me. So yeah.
Oh, good. So would you agree then that when you go to a Northern Soul night, it's like no other? Everyone, like similar to what you're saying, everyone sort of gets on. You're all there for that same purpose. You can walk up to a complete stranger and just start talking about fashion, music, and all that.
100%.
Absolutely.
It's so heartwarming and so greeting to everybody. Like there's no trouble. Yeah.
So what sort of music then were you interested in, or what did you listen to before you sort of discovered Northern Soul?
Well, before the Northern Soul, I was listening to mod stuff. So I was listening to The Who, Small Faces, Booker T and the MGs, and then I slowly started getting into Motown, and then I started getting into like Al Wilson and stuff, and Frankie Valli, and then I just sort of slowly went into the Northern.
So you've always loved good music. You've always had a passion for it. Great stuff. Yeah. So the next question then is, the next question is, we've sort of pretty much touched on it there. What other sort of music are you passionate in the same way that you are for Northern Soul? What sort of music?
Well, I'm very much into the mod scene as well. So like The Who, Small Faces, The Kinks, Booker T and the MGs, stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool. So obviously, in the documentary, it was almost like you're on a quest to become a top Northern Soul DJ, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So if you were to play, let's say, any venue across the world, anywhere in the UK, anywhere you want, what sort of venues do you think that would be?
One of them would be Blackpool again. And then one of them would be Benidorm, and then the other one would also be another one would also be Brighton as well.
Nice. We'll just talk about when you were at Blackpool there. So
Yeah.
obviously you had a DJ lesson with obviously top Northern Soul DJ Richard Serling. Tell us, I mean, that must have been absolutely amazing. Tell us a bit more about that experience.
That was an honour and a privilege. That was, I mean, that was, there was no words for that. I was just so grateful. He was such a really nice guy. He was so polite, such a really nice gentleman guy, and I was just really thankful for him to put me under his wing and show me some techniques and whatnot. So yeah.
So obviously we're all in lockdown and all that sort of stuff. So obviously all live venues have been closed down and shut down and whatever else. So tell us about some of the things that you've been up to since the documentary. What sort of things have you been up to?
I've been working at Peter's shoe shop as well. He's my manager now. I work here now. So that's what I've been doing. I've been DJing as well here at the shop as well, polishing shoes, cleaning the shoes, putting the shoes away, and serving customers and stuff like that.
Great. So obviously we've seen in the documentary that you volunteered at a clothes shop. Is that something you're still doing as well, or?
No, I'm not doing that anymore.
Oh, okay. Obviously you worked in the clothes shop. It's clear from some of the clothes that you're wearing in the documentary that you have an eye for fashion. So tell us about some of the clothes that you like to wear, or who inspires your fashion sense, or who do you look up to?
No, nobody inspires my fashion. I wear a lot of the mod stuff as well. So a lot of the mod clothes fashion as well, and a lot of the Northern Soul fashion as well. But it's mainly like the mod clothes, like the polos and the shirts and whatnot, and the pros.
And that sort of mixes in between the sort of Northern Soul scene anyway. You know, we sort of mixes together. So, another question that I was keen to sort of get to ask you was, so if you could only listen to one Northern Soul track, probably a hard question for you because I know you love all Northern Soul, but if you could only listen to one Northern Soul track for the rest of your life, what would that be? Or I suppose the question is, what's your favourite?
Probably. I mean, I've the guy that's behind me actually, he's been playing a new track, and I've actually been liking that, and that's probably one I would probably listen to all the time because I listen to it all the time. So, yeah, but it changes every day. But, yeah. So,
That's the great thing about, I suppose, Northern Soul as well. That it's impossible to hear every single track, and every time you go out to a night out, you hear something new, and that's what catches your heart, and that's what gets you on the dance floor. I suppose that's what it is for me.
I believe as well. The music means something to everybody as well.
Yeah. And obviously, me and you're obviously younger than the most that would go to a Northern Soul night. And the great thing for me is, I'm sure you agree, is that when you go there, there's so many people from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, all different ages, and we're all brought together within that community and that moment of just standing next to each other, dancing to Northern Soul like that. For me, is amazing. I'm sure you agree with that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So tell us more about your relationship then with Pete. Obviously, you said you were working with him in the shop and that. So tell us a bit more about what sort of things how you sort of met. Did you meet on the night out, or did you know him beforehand? Or
we met. First time me and Pete met was I was at a Northern Soul night at a pub, and he was there and he saw me. But I didn't really recognise him because I was there and I didn't really remember who was there. I didn't really recognise anybody. And then when I started speaking to the BBC, they told me that he knew about me, and that's when I actually went up to him and spoke to him face to face at Cockgrave.
Cool. I seen on social media there that you're doing something with the Night Owl in Birmingham. Tell us
Oh
a
yeah,
bit about that.
yeah. I was DJing there a little bit. I was DJing with my records and stuff like that. I've done a little bit of a radio interview as well and whatnot. So yeah.
So what sort of next then? What sort of things can we look forward to? Can we see you doing some other things, or sort of what you're getting up to?
I'll be more, yeah. I'll be happy to DJ. I just need to get some more records and obviously travelling as well, expenses as well. Yeah.
Obviously not touching on too much detail, but what would you know, I think your story inspirational to obviously many. I mean, you were trending on Twitter, Facebook was going mental, everybody sort of sharing and talking about it. So what sort of advice would you give someone that maybe going through the same sort of similar issues to yourself, or what advice would you give to somebody who is maybe looking to get into Northern Soul? What would you say to them?
Be yourself. Just be
That's
yourself.
it. Easy answer.
Go for and just experience it for yourself.
Brilliant. I think that's pretty much it, mate. We covered everything. But like, I mean, I watched the documentary and I was just blown away by how much passion and drive and enthusiasm you have about Northern Soul. So you know, definitely, I thought it'd be great just to get up and running and have a bit of an interview with you. But as well as that, mate, so I got you a little gift. Obviously, just say thank you for jumping on, giving us a bit of an interview, finding a bit more of an insight into what you've been up to. So I'm going to be sending you one of our Mods of Your Generation polos. This is the last one we have, so you'll be a lucky man. And then we've got some pin badges and key rings and that. If once we finish the call, send us your address and I'll get it off to you, mate.
Thank you.
But is there anything else you think we haven't covered, or anything you want to add, or?
No, I mean all I actually want to do, like on my interviews, is just I want everybody to just thank certain people, because I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. I want to thank my friend Jason and Karen, and I really want to thank Pete behind me and his family as well, because without them I wouldn't have done it on my own. I wouldn't have done it without them. So yeah.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, mate. Look, hopefully we can get together. I've got an event coming up next year in Telford. I know you're not too far away, and you're on the guest list if you're willing to come. We might even give you a DJ spot. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're more than welcome to come down, and hopefully we'll meet up at some point, and we'll be able to dance to a bit of Northern Soul or a bit of mod or something like that in the near future. You're on social media. Do you want to just let everyone know where we can find you and how they can check out the documentary?
And so I'm on Facebook. It's Anthony Flavin Northern Soul, and then I'm on Instagram. I don't know what that is. Moneypenny. What's my Instagram called? And Instagram's the same thing as well.
Okay.
And that's about it, really. I'm only on Facebook and Instagram.
And do you want to tell everyone where they can find the documentary if they haven't watched it yet?
You can get it on YouTube. If you just type in Soulboy 2020, you can get it on YouTube and you can get the whole thing. And also, I don't know if it's still on there, but you can get it on iPlayer if you just type in Soulboy.
Obviously, just a quick one. I see Pete there behind you. Just wondering if there's a discount on some decent shoes. What did he say?
He said no problem, let's do that.
Oh, brilliant, nice one. Appreciate that, man. Look, again, absolute pleasure to come and speak to you. But I think that's pretty much it, mate. We'll just end the interview there, and we'll hopefully, like I said, catch up with each other in the near future once we're allowed to. All right, mate.
Yeah.
Nice one. Nice talking to you, man. Thanks very much for getting in touch with us.
Yeah. Cheers. Yeah.
Bye bye.
All right.
How you doing, sir?
In Nottingham, we call him Pete the Shoe. He's a soul man from top to toe.
Started at 12, working with leather and constantly got Radio 2 on and Tony Blackburn Saturday morning. Northern Soul really developed into being a love for me. I absolutely loved it. Shuffle along. And then they're more shuffly than steppy. Definitely a shuffler. Shuffler, fast feet, really. But I used to like Muhammad Ali, so. If I'm working in here, typically I'm tapping my feet to rhythms. I can't help it. One complete sound. So I've got constant rhythms going through me.
The music has seen Pete through the rough and the smooth.
Quite a big family. Father was a miner. I lost my father tragically when I was 13 months old.
It was Northern Soul all the way through his teens and 20s. But until recently, Pete's spot on the dance floor had been empty.
I'd not really been on the scene for quite a long time, and I classed it as the past. But I also had a look at myself when I started to get into my 50s, and I knew something was missing. I suddenly realised I was getting a little bit depressed.
It took a fresh face on the scene to make him realise what he'd been missing.
Well, Anthony was a massive trigger. I saw him on the dance floor. He was so happy, and I thought, that was me when I was his age. Within minutes, I'd got on the dance floor myself then, and something just clicked, and I realised I'm in my happiest days again. I'm dancing to Northern, and the tracks were coming on, and the first beat of the track took me back 30 years.
So we obviously spoke to Anthony. We just thought we'd jump on and speak to Pete as well. Obviously, Anthony touched on that he is now being managed by Pete, who runs the shoe shop. Obviously, features in the documentary as well. So Pete, we'll just start off, mate. Tell us about sort of the relationship you have with Anthony and what sort of things you've been doing since the documentary and all that sort of stuff.
Well, Anthony's done he did a DJing session at the Night Out in Birmingham. That was his first one. I was doing a bit of dancing, and my daughter, who was on the film, little Ruby, was a quick clip of her. She was dancing, and they filmed that. So, pretty good day, really. Plus, there was a band there that we enjoyed listening to. They were playing Oasis stuff, and they were a tribute band. So, yeah, we did that. He's also been to a few, I'm a boater in Nottingham. We've got the River Trent, and I've got a few soul bowls down there, mates who are into the soul, and they've got boats. So we've been down there and done a few bits and bobs. I've had him in the shop. I'm giving him an old-fashioned apprenticeship, which is what I had as a kid. I started my apprenticeship at 12. I was completely trained by 15. I just loved the job, and I'm passing the skills what I was taught to Anthony, and I was taught to look after myself physically, mentally, cook for myself, and basically I was taught how to live by a Hungarian shoemaking master.
Right. Yeah. Interesting.
Legend himself, a martial artist. Very hard man. And it's thanks to him I've survived 40 years in business, and it's been 40 years of success. I've had businesses in 4 different counties in England, and yeah, I've had an eventful life, to say the least.
So sounds like you've had as they say, tough paper round, and you've done pretty much everything there is to do within your sort of business. So happy days, great stuff. Just tell us a bit more then. So you're obviously. Anthony said you're sort of managing him. What sort of role then are you playing? And obviously it's great that you've taken him under your wing and you're sort of teaching him these life skills, and obviously you've taken him on board and helping him in the shop. Just tell us sort of a bit more then what sort of role you're playing with the manager and sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's a first for me. I've kind of managed professional boxers, and I've worked with professional boxers, but I didn't have a manager's license. I was a cornerman but I had a trainer's job, and I was running a club. So I felt that it would be similar to that, really, talking to other managers, hence club owners, managers, event managers, and trying to get the best for Anthony. And I felt I could do it. He
Yeah.
cornered me, strategically. He cornered me. He came for me. I wanted to care for him, and I said, if everything fails, come and work for him, and I'll teach you to make the best shoes in the world, and you can offer any soul singer a pair and make them for free. That blew his head off, really, because I offered him a job. And I told the filmmakers, look, it don't matter what happens, it don't matter if you never show it. I've told him I've given him a job, I like him. We were working together on the doc, in and out of interviews and whatever. And I was watching him dance, and I'll say it bluntly, I could see that he'd got the electricity of Bruce Lee and the Northern Soul dancer at his best, but he'd not got the moves. But I found out since he's a great disco dancer and a funk dancer, and I found out that his knowledge on 60s music is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
My brother lived in Brighton in the 60s, and he's got the same knowledge as him.
Yeah. We might have to get him writing some articles for Mods of Your Generation website or the blog, maybe.
Yeah, anything really to make Anthony, more interesting and give him more knowledge on the music scene. I'm open to helping and to contributing, and I'm a very charitable person. I've done an awful lot for charity, and the Northern Soul crowd and the Scooter Boys have helped me from doing scooter runs to the shop, and then raising money for me, helping them raise money, them helping me raise money. I'm from a soul background in Yorkshire. I'm pretty well known. So it's perfect for me, and I've kind of been reborn, if I dare use that word. I let Northern Soul leave me because at the time when I was full on, I went through a spell of discovering love. I was very young. I learnt about Northern Soul from my sister and my cousins. I was 12, and I was listening to the Exciters, and I was listening to songs you might think are a bit too commercial, but Saturday morning in the shop we'd have Tony Blackburn on. He'd be playing modern music, 60s. He'd be talking about the artists from America. I'd be on the sewing machine. I'd be listening, and I just got hooked on it like I did shoemaking, and then I decided I wanted to be a champion dancer. I wanted to be good as anybody in the country. So I travelled the country trying to copy, and I watched the guys at Wigan for hours, and I was there on the night with the film, and I've got the evidence in the out clips. I've seen myself. When you tell people I was at Wigan, they instantly say how old was you, and I know why I asked.
Yeah, I find that a lot, yeah.
I get over that and say, look, I was one of the chosen few. So I enjoyed that experience. Because I'd left soul for almost 25 years, I got into a different dance genre anyway. I never stopped really dancing, but I just thought, that's it. Wigan's gone, Northern's gone, and off I went to Ibiza in the early 80s, and I was dancing to funk and jazz funk and, artists like, if you like, Junior and, various commercial soul artists, but dance was still alive, and I was a dancer. A lot of people said, oh, you're a Northern Soul man, but on my social media, you can pick up from my social media. People say, oh, I remember Pete disco dancing in a cold cat suit, and I remember him jazz. He was the only white lad on the dance floor in the competition, and the rest of them were all black guys. So I'm a dancer by heart.
Yeah, I mean, just adding to that there, I love music. I love Northern Soul. I love sort of what you categorise as your mod stuff. And I think if you love music, you're sort of ignorant to just stick to one genre and just listen to that. I try to open my mind up and just listen to as much. Some things I like, some things I don't. But I think you got to experience music. If you love it and you love dancing, and it inspires you, you got to open your mind up and just listen to as much as you can and absorb all that sort of content. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've done that, mate. My mate was a DJ, a good DJ, and he was into Northern, and then he ended up working at a club in Retford. And he was DJ and Compare. So people like Squeeze, 999, punk bands were coming through then. So I even got into that, listening to that. I became very interested in what the albums had to say about what were going off. So I was growing up being a connoisseur, but I never bought many music because it killed it for me on the dance floor. I played at home. I wasn't a living room dancer. I've never been one of that then. I was always a ballroom dancer or an old lyric theatre dance, youth club. So I was mad on music, and I still am. And it's like a cup of coffee in the morning. I can't get going, man, until I've got the vibes on.
Well, that's exactly, I obviously got into the mod scene, obviously not going into too much detail, but it was the music and it was the fashion and it was everything about it. I mean, obviously I'm a 30-year-old lad that's sort of running Mods of Your Generation, and this is how I, similar to obviously Anthony, dancing and doing what he does, and yourself, it was about writing about the music, writing about the scene, helping the bands and other people discover their music. So that's become my passion, and it's lovely to speak to you and Anthony, and you share similar passions to me, so that's why it's just great to get on and talk to you.
Great to meet you on a scooter run, because another job Anthony is going to be doing, and I talked to a guy called Kev Roberts about it about 3 years ago. I don't know if you know Kev, but he does a lot. I think he does Blackpool Tower and King's Hall at Stowe. And I was going to take a playing card table, a table you play cards on, and just put launch 4 shoes, call it the Soul Boy, cut Anthony in, get his t-shirts, go on the dance floor, take the daughters, they love soul, so move around the country or even Europe with my range of shoes, all born on the back of Anthony, really. So
which is great. Well, every good dancer needs a good set of shoes, don't they? I mean, it goes with it. So the fact that you're a dancer, Anthony's a dancer, you're teaching him your skills and crafts of learning how to make. It's almost like it's a match made in heaven that you guys can come together now and just promote what you're doing. It's
so fresh, I mean, I also remember Hitman and Her, and I thought, well, surely me and Anthony is not going to be the Hitman and Her of Europe. He's going a bit mad, and he's crazy, really. I mean, I'm quite well known from the shop. I've got millions of customers over 40 years, and people, hey, look, Pete, how you doing? Whichever bar it is, wherever it is, because I'm 60 and I've been on the scene a long time. I've been around a long time, even though when I got a serious depression in my life, I went from being a perfect 0 fat to 19.5 stone, caught diabetes. That put an end to the Northern Soul Acrobats and dancing. I felt so embarrassed because I was winning competitions as an 18-year-old, and I couldn't dance. I was that fat. Yeah. But now I've come back down to my fighting.
What's great now is that you can teach everything. Obviously you're teaching make the shoes. You can teach all the dance moves, everything you know, to Anthony, and you can sit back and watch him and go, that used to be me one day.
Yeah, I could watch dancers. I have the gift, and I can do it a little bit with a voice or an accent. I've been given the gift of being able to copy. Incidentally, I can't do a Scottish accent, but I can copy. If I'm in America, I start speaking like them. It's not that I'm faking it. I just can't help it. Now, if I watch a dancer, I want that move, I can get it. It just comes through, and it doesn't come through in a sense of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't dance like that. I tried it with partners. Saturday Night Fever era. I've got this rather pleasant looking partner, and her mother was there, and her mother's a songwriter. I couldn't grasp it, and she's saying, he's the best dancer, he's just won the East Coast Championship, and he can't do 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just said, I've got it down to, I can't do it, I just need a mirror and 5 minutes. And he says, we don't learn like that. I quit on that. Yeah. For me, if you said to me now, Johnny, get up there and dance, I couldn't do it. And I think I'm similar to Anthony of the fact that, I mean, even dancing in the house to a track, I find it difficult to try and dance, and I feel like I'm not that great. As soon as you put me on a dance floor in an Orange Soul event, and you've got the people there, and you've got the atmosphere and that music pumping, that's when I'll put my best dance moves out. But I couldn't copy it the next day whenever it's
in a different atmosphere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the way I taught, I did it in front of my own shadow in the youth club. So I'd go to Wigan, and and the moves that come a couple of days later kind of went into my subconscious mind. Then I'd get to the youth club, and I'd start with the pose, whatever it might be, and then I'd suddenly feel it coming in front of my own eyes. I thought, that's exactly how they do it. So I just went around the country, dancing wherever I could. And we've had someone in the shop. We've had an unbelievable response with the people coming in. Oh, I thought it was great. Anthony, you were fantastic. You were good. And had someone asked me to teach him to dance, which I know I was planning on teaching people to box. I'm a pro coach. And I know I could teach someone from the armchair because it's choreography. And I'm looking, as long as I can see them move, I can say, look, that foot's in the wrong position. If you want to sprint and fast and stay in the same spot, you've got to be on level ground, spinning on a hill, and do it like this. And I've got Anthony doing it. It's unbelievable how good he is now. And I told him on the film, and there was a chuckle.
I remember that, yeah.
I've had a lot of chuckles in my life, believe you me. It just drives me on. And I said, I'm going to warn you this and tell you this. If Anthony's with me in 6 months' time, he'll be up as a serious contender. And he started already. They're stopping him in the street. And the Northern Soul guys are saying, he's completely different now to what he was on the film. He says, well, we're just coaching him wisdom on the dance floor. And they say, but you know,
he's just up here, isn't he? He's just, I mean, it's hard to express in words how, for me personally, how watching the whole documentary, I mean, your story sort of touched on, but Anthony's story, it's just unbelievable how, I mean, it's just pure passion for Northern Soul, and the whole scene is just unbelievable. Like, so it was a great thing to watch. And I actually was gutted that it wasn't long enough. You know, I wanted to see a bit more, and I was hoping maybe we could have a 6 months time thing. You know,
a lot of people are shouting for continuation. I'm silent about it. You know, it's been done and that's it. But I'm in the process. I've learned how to make films and documentaries without trying to sound too much of a clever. You'll see. I'll send you in 15 minutes time a teaser of the documentary I'm making to do with the man behind the Hitman, and the Hitman's Ricky Hatton. Now, Ricky Hatton, you'll know him because he came up to, and Michael Gomez, who came up to Scotland and did Your Boy Alex Arthur, and he was in good style. They were all training to Northern Soul. I was in the gym. I said, put this on. You ought to see him moving to it. He's perfect, Northern Soul. And they were playing Oasis, Manchester, I think the Farm, and then the Northern. They didn't even realise I was behind the Northern because I get it to one of them and said, don't tell them I've put it in there. But you watch them go and they're trained to this. And they're all into it now. So he's a fever kind of. Northern, he kept asking me on the documentary how to explain it. I said, he's kind of hard to explain. You just inherit it and you're on one. You can't get rid of it. Now,
some people get it and some people don't. And that's just the way of, you know, it is. I think if Northern Soul touches you, it touches you and it stays with you forever. And like Anthony said, it becomes your family, the people you meet there. Yeah, it becomes part of you. And like you said there,
I'm looking at you and you're changing my life, and Anthony has done. And I've made a commitment to go back the same life, and I'm saying this to whoever listens. If you ever suffer depression, and if there's ever been a time for that, it's on us now. I've had an absolute ball since I did that documentary or film. I've gone back to feeling once the music's on. First beat exactly as I did at 18, when I was 0% fat, no alcohol. I wasn't really one for drugs anyway. When I went to Wigan, I used to sleep. But I was so fit, and it might have saved my life. So I'm now going to do a dance off diabetes. Some guy says that's offensive to anybody overweight. I says, well, I was 19.5 stone, and the dance floor has taken it off me. And the doctor said, Northern Soul is saving your life, Pete.
Absolutely. And obviously people maybe watching this will think, you know what, if you want to lose a bit of weight or find a passion in life that's positive, that's great, and you'll meet great friends at it, forget Weight Watchers, get out to an Northern Soul event, and that's what you want. That's what, like you said, will save your life and get you back on, get you slim, get you fit, get you a passion and something positive to look forward to.
And you know, if a young boxer asks my advice, because they've seen me on the Sky, and they've seen me hanging around with Billy Graham, which is going to be the documentary about him, they say, well, what advice have you got from me? I says, hang your gloves up and get on the dance floor for a year.
Well, I don't want to touch on it too much, but maybe we can sort something out. So I've been a boxer all, most of my life. Started when I was 11. Done kickboxing, done boxing. I've done boxing competitions and stuff like that there. But I'm not going to get into those details. I was the Ulster kickboxing champion. I've been best boxer a couple of years in a row. I'm 30 now, so I'm not 18, 19 when I was good. But maybe we can sort something out. Get me back in trim fit again. I mean, I was lightweight, featherweight, so I'm nowhere near that now, I'm sure. But I still keep doing a bit of training here and there, you know.
Super feather. Let me just try and say this, because I'm twice your age, and I never thought I'd say this because I was always the younger man in business, but now I'm the older man. If you look into the history of Northern Soul, and I told them, and it's on the outputs, I said, most of the guys, if you look at the years 72, Bruce Lee was introduced, Chinese martial art was introduced. I studied Chinese philosophy, and I got rapped for it for writing my name in Chinese when I couldn't even write in English. And I wanted to go to China to Shaolin temples, and it was very close. A lot of the martial arts moves are in Northern Soul. The high kicks,
well, yeah. I mean, I noticed that very early on. You know, I done kung fu, I done kickboxing stuff like that, and I noticed that very early on. It's if you think you're Bruce Lee, then you're going to be a good you're going to be a good dancer. Just be Bruce Lee on the dance floor without the noises.
My icons, who I believe are a large part of my values and have left me like I am. And people say, oh, sometimes you come across as a bit cocky and you walk this way. And I said, I don't know how I am, but my values are to be fair and decent. I said, what do you expect when Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali and Elvis were my main idols? I says, I'm bound to inherit something.
you take a piece of those and apply it to yourself. But why not? You know, I always say that nobody's going to talk well about you unless you talk well about yourself. So, you know, that's it. You know.
Have you got a scooter? You got a scooter?
Yeah, I've got a LML 125. It's in the garage. I don't really get out much, but it's pretty much a Vespa in it, you know.
I do a shout out to the Northern Soul crowd. Anybody from Yorkshire or the Midlands, that's only to make it easy. I want to put a scooter in my shop window. We're next to Paul Smith. And I want to do a Northern Soul theme when I launch my shoes. So if anybody's got a spare scooter that would be insured, it won't be ridden, it won't be rode. If we just put in the window, then I'll give them a couple of pair, about 400 quid of shoes. I've been offered by somebody who's quite famous, but he's not in this country at the moment, so getting it is a bit difficult. So I just banging a scooter in for about a 2-week promotion, and then we're going to film it, and then I'm going to do a charity deal and get as many scooters down to the shop and give them checks and have a scooter theme. So I don't know if you could shout about it for me, but I'm sure somebody.
Well, anything I can do to help. Obviously, it sounds great, and if I can get there and be a part of it, I will be. And send us a bit more details and whatever, and I'll give it a big shout out. Obviously, people will be able to get the information from this video, but I'm up for helping out if I can in some sort of way. Even getting down and getting a lesson, either in boxing lesson or dancing lesson from yourself and them for you there.
I could give you both, really. I could even teach you how to drive a narrowboat. You can go on the river and dance on the river if you want. We've got a stage boat, which is just a flat boat. What we could have a band on, or we can dance on, right while you're floating along. What about that for a mad video?
Oh, I better make sure my balance is all right.
All the scooters, they've got a big following in the Midlands. The scooter boys, it's quite massive. Yorkshire's next to
Well, I know a lot of clubs quite around the Midlands. It's quite big, yeah.
And then, I had one dream, and the guys were laughing at me. Really, they were putting a few in the ribs. I said, what I call a scooter one is that Scotland come down and come through the northeast, and then the northeast come down through Yorkshire, and then Yorkshire come down through the Midlands, then the Midlands come through Northampton, and then Northampton through to London, and you have the biggest scooter rally in the world,
That
and
would
you
be,
raise
yeah.
possibly millions.
Yeah,
And they said, who's
without
going to
a
be
doubt.
on the front?
Mm.
They said, who's going to be at the front? You? I says, not likely, I'll be at the back.
I'll be at the front.
You should be on the front there. You lead it from Scotland. There's one for you, mate. That is like equivalent to my book to Live Aid. That's massive.
That would be
every,
extraordinary.
Every school in the country going down to London. They can go down halfway in the van if they've got any sense. 10 of them are like a van, and they can start wherever they want.
I'd be slightly worried about, especially some of the old Lambrettas, whether they would make it all that way or not.
Yeah, but I'd provide a rescue wagon. And a mechanic. You know, you could do it. That's the sort of man we're talking with similar. You know, for you to do what you've done, you've obviously got. If you grab a vision, you go for it.
And that's it. Do you know what? The lesson of today, and I think it speaks for everything we've discussed with you and with Anthony. If there's something you're passionate about, I mean, to be honest, people have said, Johnny, what are you wearing that for? What are you listening to that for? What's that about? And I'm like, do you know what? I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to listen to what I like, and I'm going to promote what I like on my page. I'm going to listen to music I like, and just be myself. And you can only be yourself. And if people don't like it, then they can. They don't have to like it. That's the point. You know, if you find something that you have a passion for, go for it.
We're on the same page. And do you know how many young kids are in now? Do you know how many young kids are on scooters? They're not Lambrettas. They're not badged up. They love soul because they're sort of fathers that that loved it, and they'd latch on. There's a lot of scooters in this country. They don't all have to have minutes on. We love that scene, of course we do. But there's a lot of guys that jump on it at 17 and 18, and if it were organised, it could be absolutely massive. There's one. I think me and you should organise it.
Well, you let me know if I can help out or promote it or advertise or whatever, then I'll definitely be up for it. I think we end it there, mate. But it's honestly been a great day. Chatting to you both. A lot of info there, a lot of backstories. I'm inspired massively by just how much Anthony loves Northern Soul, obviously your shop and everything you've been through and what you've done. Unbelievable, mate. So hopefully we can meet up one day, do a bit of dancing, like I said, and do a bit of boxing together.
That's fine. That's no problem with that. You told me what weight you are. I've not told you what weight I am.
I don't know. I've got a bit of a fat belly coming up now because I'm 30 now, but you want to see me in the prime.
No, you're going to be a lot fitter than me, mate. So
I'll end the recording now, and then I'll show you some of my stuff. Yeah.
I'm Anthony Flavin, Northern Soul dancer. Keep the faith.